Hey there, this is Trevor, also known as There Is No Try. This is a quick tutorial showing you how to use the save squad and load squad functions in the Star Wars Minis Vassal mod. Okay, so let's say your squad has, 10 or 12 characters in it. And when you build that squad, you have to, of course, scroll through all the various lists and pull out all the guys that you've got there. It takes a while to build your squad and put them onto the map, right? Well, there is a way to save all that hassle and time after you build your squad once, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, first you start a new game, file, start new game, and then there's a little window that will show up where it says join the game as which side. You're going to join as player 1, 2, 3, or 4. By the way, that corresponds exactly to the player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4 player hands that are listed here. By the way, these player hands buttons will not function until the game is actually loaded, all right? But we're setting that up right now. So let's start as, player 2. It doesn't matter. You can see, anyone can see what is on any of those player hand boards, but only the player whose board belongs to, only that player can interact with that board, as you'll see. Okay? So let's just choose player 2. In this case, it doesn't really matter. We'll choose Rancor Pen because it's a classic. And so, as I said, anyone can see what is on the various player hands. Okay? It doesn't matter which one is which. They just have different art. We chose player 2. Okay. So let's pull up player 1's player hand. See, I said you can see what's on it, but you can't interact with it, right? Like I'm clicking on it, nothing is happening because I can't interact with it because I'm not player 1. Maybe I forgot what player I am. It's easy to find out. You click on the retire button at the top left of the screen here, and it will say your current side is player 2. You can switch to another side if you want to. You can switch to player 4 if you want, but we don't need to. You can switch that way if you want, all right? But we are player 2. It says your current side is player 2. Press cancel, and here we are. All right, I can right-click, and there's 3 options that come up. I'm right-clicking on this box right here. I'm not right-clicking on the rest of the player hand window. That's not helpful. Right-clicking on the center of the box will give us these options. I'm going to choose load squad. I've already saved a squad. I put my squads in a folder called Vassal Squads, but you can name it whatever you want, okay? And I gave my squad a title. It's called Beefy Sith. It's one of my favorite squads, so I'll just load that one up, all right? So I'm just going to select it and double-click it or press open. And now what you'll see is that in that box where we just right-clicked, my squad just appeared. It gives me a points total for the squad, 200, and also shows me how many activations are in there. So there's 2 ways to get this squad onto the map. One, I could drag them all one by one, and it could take a long time. Or, watch this, you can right-click on it. It says there's currently 10 activations left, that is 10 characters left on this stack of pieces. You could right-click on it and choose Draw Multiple Characters. And then type in a number, and then the next time you draw from that stack of characters, it will draw up to that many people. Okay, so if I type in 5, it will draw up to 5, and then the remaining 5 will still be there. Or I can type, 48, and it will draw up to 48. But since there's only 10, it will only draw 10. Drag them onto the map. Okay, now here's a suggestion. You don't want to have the whole stack highlighted, which is what happens when you draw a box, but instead you click away from it, and then you click to highlight the top mini on there, and then use the arrow keys or the number pad to move the minis one at a time. This is a very quick, smooth, easy way to spread out your squad once it's on the map. Handy, right? Okay, so that just took me a very brief amount of time, and my squad is ready to go. Okay? That's a whole lot better than having to go through the whole menu and build the squad, right? Okay. There is, so now I'm going to show you how to save the squad. So, we've got our player hand up, and let's say we're going to build this squad, or build some of this squad. We'll just do a little bit just to give you a taste of it. All right, so we're going to scroll down, and we're going to find Tulak Horde, who's one of my favorite pieces in the game. We'll drag him onto the window. Let's say we're going to put XR Kun Dark Force Spirit onto there. And let's say we also want to put on some Ugnaught Demolitionists, right, because they're in the squad. What you could do is you could you could find the Fringe tab here at the top and scroll down this massive long list of things and find your Ugnaught Demolitionists. You could do that. here, there's a simpler way to do it. There are some fringe characters that get used all the time. All right, I've just created a new tab here called Common Fringe Characters. There's nothing special about these. They're just direct copies of the ones in the other list. But these are ones that tend to get used a lot. And I've separated them as before according to the Wizards of the Coast pieces and then the VSET pieces, two separate alphabetical lists. Okay, and because Ugnaughts and Rhodium Brutes and Mouse Droids get used a lot, you can just find them easily here, so you don't have to scroll through the fringe lists, the big long fringe list, if you don't want to. Okay, so we need 2 Ugnaught Demolitionists in our squad, so let's just pull those out. We can pull up more squads, but for the purpose of this tutorial, this is enough. Okay, now you saw that when I loaded my squad earlier, those Ugnaughts showed up in orange, but here they're showing up in brown. What's up with that? Well, every piece in the game has its default player color, that is the orange there or the brown there, whatever, set according to that faction's color that shows up on your faction, on your character cards, on your stat cards, right in front of you. So if you want to change that, it's easy. You can highlight one at a time, or you can just draw a box and highlight both. And you can either choose the choose player color option from the right-click menu to change that, or you just highlight them and press Control-P for player color and change it until the color matches the color of your squad. So that's helpful. All right. And now let me see. You're putting your guys in your squad, and it's going to adjust the points of your squad that are in this box and the activations as you do it. But you know what? Let's save ourselves some time. We know that XR is always going to be haunting Tulak Horde. Okay, so what we can do is go to take XR and go to the identify option here and just put Tulak. So that now, instead of having to type that in at the start of every game, he will be saved with that already typed in. That's handy, right? And you drag these other guys on. And now here's what you're going to do. Once you've got your entire squad on there, whatever you want to save, then you right-click and choose Save Squad. And this will go to automatically to the folder that you've last saved or loaded from this Vassal Star Wars Minis mod program. Okay? So basically, once you set this up once, it'll be good to go from then on. Okay? We're going to save this as, I don't know, test or demo Sith, right? Because I'm using this squad to demo how you can save it. Okay, so now we've got it, and everything works the same as before. You load up the squad, drag it out onto the map, and it's ready to go. Okay, and you see we saved. Let's load it up again just to be sure that it worked properly. It did, but there it is. See, remember I said that we saved XR with his with that information already typed onto him right there? Well, yeah, it's there. So you now know how to save and load and spread out your squads on the Star Wars Minis Vassal mod. This will save you quite a bit of time, especially if you're playing a squad multiple times. If you build, say, a favorite squad and save it on Vassal, it's handy. All right. So that's all there is for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. We'll see you around. All right.